Well, I'm assuming I'm streaming, but I'm going to give it a minute here. I did it a different way this time. I believe it should be working, though. Good morning if you're tuning in. There it is. All right. Excellent. On that note, come on, buddy. Y'all give me 1 sec here to get this thing going. All right. Well, I'm trying to verify that it's all good and working here. I can't get into my own video right now. Let me try some other method here real quick. It's always something. Happy Mother's Day. If you are able to see me right now and you're, the small percentage of my viewers that are female, it's like maybe 3 to 5% of you. Happy Mother's Day if you're watching, if you are a mother. On that note, I'm going to get a little funky here. Play a little bit of harmonica. It's been a minute since I've seen everybody. All right, let's not do that. Give me a minute. All right. Here's a little funky track. Let me tell you where this is coming from now in case I forget. It's called Now You Shred Backing Tracks. A little nasty funk blues in E. Little sound check for the channel there. Yeah, that kind of shreds. That's cool. Let me see if I can get back to the video. I'd like to be able to see the chat. For whatever reason, it's not letting me do it today on my phone. That's never happened, but it's happening now. I don't know what to do. Maybe I can try to search my own video on YouTube. Let's see what happens. I'm already on my channel. Look, it worked when I did it that way. All right, I can see everything now. Excellent. Good to see you. I want to mention again, Happy Mother's Day. If you are watching and you're a mother, Happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day to my mother, who I just spoke with. In case she ever sees this video, I want to quickly mention that today is the last day of the sale for the Sonny Terry class with Joe Filisko. That's coming up this Saturday, May 17th. I want to say that is at 11 a.m. Central. It is 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. All about the one chord approach, hootin' the blues kind of approach from Sonny Terry. That's what Joe will focus on in class. It'll all be recorded, and it's still on sale today. So go check it out. You can just go to the homepage of Harmonica 123 or look in the video description here to find the link to that class. And I want to say thanks to my buddy Hank, who joined a cool funk harmonica class a week ago or so. And that was really cool. I covered Cash Money with him. We talked about William Clark's Cash Money, that song. And then we went into some other cool funk tunes. And it was wonderful, like Watermelon Man. So, and Sissy Strut. So if you missed it, you can also pick that up as well. And on that note, thanks to anybody that's still here tuning in. Charles, what's up? Thanks for being a member on this channel. I appreciate you. And Steve, thanks as well for being a member on this channel. I see Ted's here. Pete, what's going on? Good morning to you. So, one thing I was messing around with just before I turned on this video was experimenting with this funk track with some fifth and third position. And if you've never done that, if you've never spent time, with a song or a groove that you're very familiar with, but like take it and work as many positions as you know against it, that makes sense. Like if it's all minor, you want some positions that open up minor scales, like that part is a given, but take as many scales as you can. In this case, this really isn't all minor, but you can play the minor stuff over this funk blues. And it sounds kind of cool. I'll give you a small taste of it. So I've got an A harmonica, second position, right? That's what I was doing. Third position has a totally different flavor. There's that. But here's the thing. Fifth position is new to me, and I haven't been using it a whole bunch, if I'm being honest. But fifth position works over this kind of funky thing. Got a stuck note. Anyway, you get the picture. It works pretty well. Trying to unstick this note. There it is. And by the way, what's happening when that happens usually in those notes, like above 6, it's moisture, saliva that gets in there, and then it seizes up that note. Sometimes that'll happen. When it happens, what do you do when you're playing live? Don't do what I just did. Just tap the harp out on both sides when that happens. Do it like in the middle. If you're in the middle of taking a solo, take a minute and do that, or get out of that area and don't play that. So I'm just showing you that you gotta step up. Take your knowledge and step up and use it. Utilize it. Bring it into as many contexts as you can, and you'll find that you'll be surprised that these positions will work often when you don't think they will. Even first position, I bring into stuff that I'm like, what? First position in this, but it works. Hey, what's up, Tony? Mr. Tony Watson's in the house. Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. All right, thanks. That must be Hal. Hey, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for signing up for the Filisko class coming up this Saturday. Thanks a bunch, Mike. Appreciate the feedback. It's always cool to have guest artists. I'm starting to do a lot more of that. Since I kicked off the membership at harmonica123.com, I've had guest artists every single month, sometimes multiple. And I don't know if I can keep it up every single month, but I'm doing it as much as I can. I'm taking everything I have and pouring it back into this membership to try to provide a lot of value. I do need support. So if you haven't checked it out, just go to harmonica123.com, look at the tab that says memberships, and read about it. It's the best way to support me, and it's the best way to connect to get the most out of what I offer, these Zoom blues harmonica classes with downloadable notes. That's what you're gaining access to through that membership. It's quite robust, and it's fairly affordable, I think, for what you get. So I'll put a link to that later on. But yeah, I love it because I'm having a lot of guest artists that I'm either co-teaching with, like Hank, or guest artists like Joe coming up, where he'll take the entire session and he's got a plan for teaching this Sonny Terry class, and it's just cool. how it's the best way to connect with these the best harmonica players around the planet. So check it out. All right, back to this discussion. Just bringing in more position work. That's what we were talking about. And in this case, the context is funk. But the same thing goes in straight blues. I know for sure that I switch positions constantly, partially due to my brain, the way my brain works and wants to have something fresh to chew on and bring in. It keeps me focused. It keeps me honest in my playing. I feel like when I'm not feeling like I'm recycling ideas, you know what I mean? So that's a big part of the reason why you want to do it. And it's a huge topic. We're talking about position work. What is it if you're new to it? Position work means taking one harmonica and learning how to play it in multiple keys. And at the same time, you can kind of reverse that logic and say, if you're playing in a key of music, how many different key harmonicas can you pick up and bring into that same key? So we're talking about the same thing. That's the same discussion from two different viewpoints. So you can either think about like you're holding a key harmonica like A, how many keys, or C in this case, how many keys can you play that in? Well, potentially all the keys if you know what you're doing. Most people do not do that, but if you can play a few different keys on one harp, you're in really good shape. You open up new phrasing and new tonality by being able to switch keys to play these other positions that you open up. So that's what a position is. It's referring to the key that you want to play this particular harmonica in relative to the key it's tuned to. And it's a big topic. Let's put it in the chat. I'm very curious how many people tuning in live. I've asked this before, but I'm very curious. How many people play, type in, 1, 2, 3, 5 as the position. So if you play second, just type a 2. If you play first and second, type 1, 2. If you play first, second, and third, type 1, 2, 3. If you play, just type the number as it relates to the position and show us in the chat what you're doing, what you're using. For me, it is primarily first, second, and third. Now I've added fifth position to the bag. I play a little bit of fourth position. That's 5 positions, but only a little bit. And a tiny bit of 12th. So there's 6 positions that I'm using. So Randall, Harmonica Man, Randy plays in first, second, and third. Tony's in second, third, and fifth. You don't play first, Tony? Are you sure? I feel like you've played some first position. Maybe that's not something you use regularly. What do you guys play? Great example is people don't think of taking this track right here. It's E shuffle, E major. And most people are always going to grab A. And that's great. That's probably the best fit. But why aren't you trying something like third position? You can mix the major minor stuff over this. It works pretty well. No one's using that very often. It's nice, right? So my point is that 99% of harmonica players that are playing third position are just thinking of minor context. They are. I know, because that's what I hear out there. I mean, let's say it's a way above 90% for sure. Not many people are thinking about this major stuff. and bringing some of those minor scales, like a blues scale or the minor pentatonic or the major pentatonic, over this particular type of thing, like a straight E shuffle. I will say I don't love third position in D. I'd be more excited about doing that in a slightly lower key, like B flat or A, which would mean I'd need to be in the key of C, like a C shuffle. Or maybe I was in the key of A. That would be a great example. If you're in the key of A major and you just grab a G harp. Let's just last thing real quick here. Let's make sure it's oh, this is key to the highway. No. Don't mess with key to the highway. Don't do that. But you get my drift here. This is Chicago blues. So let's see what this is. Perfect example. Let's grab a G harp for a minute. It's kind of nice, right? I feel like when you switch to like third position for a traditional kind of blues, it forces you to really think about the phrasing obviously because you're changing position in a whole different way, in a cool way, because in third against this Chicago thing, I'm noticing I want to do a lot of jumps across hole 3, even though there's plenty of good note choices on hole 3. It just makes me want to move different. So that's a benefit that you should be thinking about when you're sitting in, is just don't get stuck in that sort of like law. If you think if you're having an out of body experience and you see yourself kind of like with your eyes open doing that, you got to do something to slap yourself, get yourself out of that state. And one way to do that is changing the harmonica key, going to a different position. The other is to, just play simple and start to connect to the music. Because I think a lot of people get really nervous and then it's like it's deer in headlights and they're uncertain of what to do. You can keep it very, very simple. Yeah, I haven't been on in a minute. It just seems to happen that way, that in my world I need to take these slightly more extended breaks. And then when you see me back often, I'm in streaks where I'm on all the time. So it comes and goes. I really, you've heard me say it many times where, hey, I really hope I can be on here on a much more frequent basis, do a regular thing, or either a daily, like a daily vlog, or once a week, twice a week, whatever. But, I have a lot of other things going on. So, yeah, it pulls me out of that. But I am here. Again, Saturday is Joe Filisko, Sonny Terry. Links in the description. I hope to see a bunch of you in that class. There are some people already signed up, and I appreciate everybody who has checked it out. So what else can you do with this Chicago groove? Let me just see some. First position. I'd say first position at blues is some of my all-time favorite stuff to do. course, second position is going to sound great over this. Yeah, so you get the idea here. When you're presented, I think the big message of the last 5 minutes was like you're presented with something very familiar, like a Chicago shuffle. Don't get stuck in second position every single time. Step outside of your comfort zone if you've been dabbling with third, and keep it simple and play something that feels right for your ability level. Keep it really simple and get in there and be rhythmically engaged in what's happening. So if you're new to third and this comes up and you want to try it, grab a D harp. You would just want to keep it simple. I'm sorry, G harp, because we're in a key of A. My bad. Like a 4 draw. Bring in the 5. Six draw, just hold it. So you don't need to do. I think that's the biggest mistake, is that people get excited, like I'm gonna bring in this new position, and they get ahead of themselves. They start playing something that's a little too much for them in that moment. It's too new. Yeah, that's right. Normar says that he likes using first position, the upper octave holes. Yeah, you do have to blow bend a lot, but the blues scale's right there for you. Is exactly right. So why wouldn't you? Well, you wouldn't because you didn't have the skill to maybe blow bend or control the notes up top. We should talk about that for a minute. That's right. The Ice Cream Man lick came up. Tony heard it. What's the Ice Cream Man lick? It's in first position on an A. Sounds like this. You can play it over the entire progression. I probably didn't play it. You were probably just saying it. I probably didn't play it. Now I'm playing it. What is it? It's first position, hole 2. All hole 2. 2 blow, 2 full step bend, 2 half step bend, and 2 draw. And you just repeat it. Wasn't that a John Brim tune? Little Walter playing that lick. Yeah. So the cool thing about the high end of the harp is this, and the is that it has a very distinct kind of purpose in my mind, and that is it separates. It has such a different tonality to it, and it's so much higher up there that it's an opportunity for you to explore that dynamic range differently and emotionally grab people in if you treat it gently. The high end can be the ugliest, most harsh thing to get involved with. It'll turn you off from the harmonica. It'll turn other people off. And that includes even hole 6, anything 6 and above. So my advice to you is be gentle. As soon as you go above holes, like starting on 6 draw and above, but really it's 7, 8, 9, and 10, play with half the amount of air. Relax everything in your mouth, your jaw, your neck. There should be no tension whatsoever. And if you relax and play very gently from your diaphragm, those notes start to get fuller and they sound better. And they not only does the tone get better, but your control, they don't seize up anymore. Now we're thinking blow bends on top of just controlling blow and draw. Well, those happen on blow notes, and the air in that case is very steady. So if you're working on blow bends and you're having a problem, work on extending the air with a gentle stream. A harmonica 9 blow. I have so much air left. I don't want to bore you, but the point is, I'm showing you that there's this. You can, and I'm not out of breath. What does that tell you? It's all diaphragm. So, if you take a nice breath in, and then you slowly release it, you can get this long note. From there, then it's all about experimenting with the embouchure, the tongue position, and embouchure, and relationship. Maybe considering how close your teeth are together. What is the shape of internally of the inside of your mouth there to control these blow bends? For me, it's a lot of just focusing on the tongue. Where the tongue is tucked forward. And we've talked about that on this channel plenty, but it's a new day. Yeah, the tongue kind of folds forward. Tip of the tongue is kind of resting on the top of the bottom teeth. As odd as that sounds, that's where it is. And you fold and try to block the air. I always tell people if you're going and you feel all that air, you're not going to get a good blow bend or not much control. But if you go and barely any air is hitting your hand, you've really learned how to create the proper blow bend where you've sealed everything off in the front. So kind of also like spitting watermelon seeds in a way, that kind of shape. And these blow bends are sweet because if you use a little bit of air, you don't need much, right? You just need a little bit. There it is. That's kind of the idea there, is that you're really relaxed when I'm playing these blow bends. It's with just a tiny bit of air. It's like this. I mean, it's like holding back 80% of what you could do if you were to go, you know. The best test, I put this on the channel a long time ago, is take like a big lighter, standard lighter. Don't hold your hand all the way out here. Bend your elbow a little bit, just a tiny bit, light the lighter, and then blow a steady stream of air. And if that lighter, the flame, goes out, you're not breathing right. It's one little test that I came up with. It's like, if you're breathing properly, and this is in general, just for how much air you need. If it goes out, it's too much. If it stays lit, you've got the perfect amount of air coming out as you breathe out, and use the same idea coming in when you breathe in. Yeah, repeated triplets. You contrast the low stuff. That's the beautiful part of first position, is that we have the low end, like the ice cream man lick that I pointed out. And we have all the high-end stuff like the Jimmy Reed approach. And just within first position, you can, especially the best way to use is, it's not, I'll be honest, it's not this. You take first position and you grab something like, well, let's see what this sounds like. Take a really slow blues. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't like what the drummer's doing there. It's too busy. New part of the solo, next 12 bars. Make your way back down. So really, it's two things that kind of like, it's the contrast of the lower notes with the high notes, but then it's also the advantage of the full scale up on the high end. You don't have that in second position. You don't have a full blues scale unless you're overdrawing on the high end, right? And even overblowing for the middle, so, to get that the equivalent of that 3 half step bend. So it's not all that, and then you got the 4 bend to contend with up. That would again be an overdraw. So first position, we don't have a complete blues scale on the bottom, but we got a lot of it, and we have all the language, of what's been done on the bottom end of first, all the giants of like blues harmonica we have all these great recordings, these examples to learn from, all the great juicy phrasing on the bottom. The middle of the harmonica, we're just kind of breaking down first position, talking about what's available, is kind of like desert land, right? We don't have many draw bends because we're past, at that point, as we move past 4, we got 5 draw, we got a microtonal thing, then we're contending with an overblow. So what do? I use it like a bridge to get up and down. I keep simple lines that I've extracted and rephrased, and just think about those note choices from like little Walter things I've heard, ideas of people playing first position middle. A lot of it comes down to 6 blow, 5 blow, 4 blow. And those notes help me take a minute and move gracefully up towards the high end if I don't want to just jump there. And same thing, to move down if I don't want to just jump down by going high end, right straight to low. So first has this cool vibe going on with it, as hopefully you heard, and I just love it. I feel like we're not taking enough advantage of, especially first. I don't hear a lot of people using it, so I guess that's the big talk today. Hey, Shane, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. So take your knowledge of second position and shove it inside of first. Does everybody know what I mean by that? Probably nobody. Like, take all your ability, all your bends that you can control in second, and all the phrasing that you know from second, and think about how it relates to first position. What are now the available bends that I use in second that are now available in first position as well, like 2 full step bend, 2 half step bend, 3 draw half step bend, 3 draw full step bend, and so on. So I'm sharing with you that they're all relevant. All these notes, you just got to rearrange them and think to yourself, how do I use these licks in context of first? So I'll go out with a tiny bit more. This is just the bottom end of first. There it is, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. A little talk about position work. We talked about bringing in, what you know, and when you don't feel comfortable using something new, especially positions, doesn't mean you should never go for it. You got to eventually jump in, and the best way to do that is to keep it simple and engage with the groove and the rhythm. Just keep it very simple. When is the next member Zoom? We're talking about Harmonica 123 membership. I do have a tentative date on the calendar, and I should have announced it by now. Thanks for bringing that up, actually. Let me just tell you right now. I'm tentatively shooting, actually, for, that's around the corner, this week. Like, I'm looking at the 15th. So if you're a member at Harmonica 123, a gold member specifically, look for an email coming out to you soon about that. And that's it. Look for Joe Filisko on Saturday, May 17th. I really appreciate you guys. I'll put membership information of all the stuff I've talked about in the video description. Joe's class, that link is already there. And thanks for tuning in to this live stream on my channel. I will see you on the next one.